Hi guys, Debbie Lively here again with the Lively View. Thank you guys so much for coming to view another one of my videos. Let's just get right at it. Well, you know what? Let me invite the ancestors into the room first, so let's do that. Okay, so the question today is, what do you think is the biggest secret as it relates to Black people? That's what we're going to discuss today. I'm going to tell you guys what that secret is. So stay with me. But you know what, guys, too? I need you to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Please, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. You know, I'm not a pushy person, but I need for this channel to grow. So please, I need you guys to like, share, and comment. And subscribe. And on the other side of this intro, I'm going to tell you what the secret is as it relates to Black people. So stay with me, okay? Bye. Okay, guys, thank you so much for coming back. Debbie Lively again with Lively View. So I know you guys might be wondering, what is she talking about, this biggest secret? Well, you know, guys, the biggest secret as it relates to Black people, and everything on my channel relates to Black people. So whenever I say we, that's what I'm talking about, Black people. So the biggest secret as it relates to Black people, you guys ready? Drum roll, drum roll. Can't do a drum roll. But the biggest secret is that Black people, we do not know who we are. The African does not know who he is. And that is what I'm going to discuss here. Try to prove to you guys that we are who we are. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about, and I was at a party the other day and somebody mentioned this, and I was already working on this video, but somebody mentioned, they were talking about Adam and Eve, right? And I was already, thinking about these sorts of things. But the biggest secret is we were the first created beings. And I know that is hard for a lot of people to believe, a lot of people to actually conceive of, but the Black, the African, and when I say the African, I don't necessarily mean people who were born and raised or currently born and raised in Africa, but I mean people of African descent, people who look like me and you. We were the first created. Now, I know that that's hard for a lot of people to believe, but it is true. And, maybe you need to hear it from a white person, because some of us still need to hear, things from white people before we believe it. So I have this little video here, and hopefully I'm always pointing here and there. I never know where it's going to be, but maybe look at this guy, Bill Nye, the science guy. He talks about it real briefly. Take a look, or take a listen, I should say.
Of the same continent with just one color. And it turns out that everybody on Earth is descended from people that live here in Africa.
Okay, so you guys hear that? So firstborn African people who look like me and you, right? Skin that look like this. So when God, think about this, you guys. So when the divine decided, okay, I'm gonna make people, wherever he was, whatever he was thinking at that time, I'm gonna make people. He chose to make people who look like you and me, who have hair like mine, who have skin that looks like mine, who has eyes that look like mine, Black people, right? That's what he chose to make. We are the original. This is what God chose to make. When he devised or came up with an idea of these are the people that I want to make, he made them look like us, not anybody else like us, because the Africans are the firstborn, right? Firstborn. All right. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about why this is accurate. Okay. So let's look at the continent of Africa. And you guys, this was a new epiphany for me just recently, because like I always tell you guys, I never just come up with something and just say, okay, I'm going to talk it. Well, sometimes I do, but primarily when I come and talk to you guys about something, it's about something I've been divinely led to talk about, right? So I was in bed one night and God was just like telling me to really look at the map, the US, not the US map, the world map, right? And I kind of didn't know where he was going with it, but I try to, not always, but I try to obey as much as I can. So I pull out my phone and start looking at the map. And what he showed to me and what he said to me is, look at Africa, look where Africa is placed. And I'm gonna have a map here, you guys, and like I said, I don't know if it'll be on this side or this side. But if you look at Africa, Africa is in the center of the planet. Think about that. Africa is in the center of the planet. Look at this map, wherever it is. But look at this map. It's in the center of the planet, right? Everything you can see, the North America, Europe, Asia, everything revolves around Africa. It's in the center of the world. We have to ask ourselves, why is that the case? If we are in fact the underbelly of the world and we are not what, so many Europeans tell us that we are, why is Africa centrally located? If I'm gonna make some, create people and they're not very significant to my overall agenda or what it is that I'm trying to do, would I put them front and center? No, I wouldn't. But God chose to put Africa front and center. And everybody, all the other countries revolve around Africa. The other thing about location, when I was going to look for maps, it is so hard to find a map that accurately depicts the size of Africa. A lot of our, white counterparts, people who have created maps, have gone out of their way to shrink Africa and make the continent of Africa look much smaller than it is compared to everyone else. But hopefully this map that I'm showing you guys will show the accurate depiction and actual size of Africa, right? So if Africa is not all this or not all that, why you gotta make it look so small? You know what I mean? Because size, it matters. It matters, In this instance, size matters. Africa is huge. It's the second largest continent and it's right in the center. And everyone else revolves around the continent of Africa. North America, which can, of course includes US and Canada, Europe, which includes, Britain and Russia, Asia, which includes China and Thailand. Everybody revolves around Africa because Africa is front and center for a reason. Please don't get it twisted. Africa is where it's supposed to be, front and center. Okay, the other thing about Africa, and this is why and guys, my argument is that, we're the original man, and I'm proving to you why that's a legitimate argument, that we are Africans. The African is a legitimate man, right? Is the original man. That's what I want to say, the original man. All right, so I told you that it's front and center. Is much larger than people who have created maps have told us that it is, and it's front and center. My second point is Africa has a third that we know of, a third of all natural resources. So that includes gold, that includes diamonds, that includes oil, that includes, if you're a chocolate fanatic like me, that includes chocolate. So that Belgium chocolate that you're eating is not from Belgium, baby. That chocolate is probably made in Ghana, or the chocolate, the cocoa seeds probably originated in Ghana or someplace in West Africa, right? They put Belgium on it because they come and, take the cocoa seeds and then go back and make, take it to Europe and make chocolate. But the original cocoa seeds to make chocolate, most of it comes from Africa, comes from West Africa. So Africa has a 1/3 of the continent or the world's natural resources. So think about that, all right? That's my second point. My third point, population. Now you guys know that the Europeans have colonized, imperialized, tried to regulate the population of Black people everywhere. Wherever Black people are, Europeans are trying to regulate our population and our sizes, right? Here in America, they do mass incarceration, any way to really just try to get our numbers down, right? But get this, in 80 years, I saw this article, I think I saw it in Quartz magazine or newspaper. In 80 years, by the year 2021, Africa would be, I'm getting so hot, Africa will be 3.3 billion people. Right now, there are probably about 1.4 billion people that they count, and there's so many people. And sometimes I wonder, how do they do these numbers? We have a hard time doing census here. How are they gonna do census in Africa, right? Sometimes I wonder that. So anyway, there are about approximately 1.4 billion people in Africa, but in 80 years, in 2021, which is just around the corner, there's expected to be 3.3 billion Africans. And guess how many people are in the world? A little over 7 billion people, right? So in 80 years, half of all of mankind on Earth will be on the continent of Africa. And we have to ask ourselves, why is that? If Africans are, you know, the scum of the earth, which is how a lot of people try to treat us, why are half the population going to live on the continent or is on the continent of Africa? Think about that. If there's about 7.7 billion people, in 80 years it's going to be 3.3 billion, and 3.3 billion, those 3.3 billion will be on the continent of Africa. Why is that? The reason why that is because God won't let his population, he won't let his people, his original people, be diminished. No matter if it's colonialism, imperialism, and population control, it won't happen. Not on his watch. So just think about that. 3.3 billion, almost half of all the people in the world will be on the continent of Africa. That's divinely orchestrated, you guys. Divinely orchestrated. Okay, you guys. So what I was saying is that black people who look like you and look like me, we are the original of the original. So God is the original, or as the Rastas like to say, and we are a copy of the original. So we are original of the original, first made, right? And Burning Spear actually told us that. If you guys are into reggae, you may have heard him talk about that. I mean, many reggae artists have, but there's a lyric in his song, and I can't remember the song, but he says that he's the original of the original, and I just love that lyric. But anyway, you might be saying, okay, Debbie, you know, why is that relevant? And the reason why it's relevant is because if you know that you are original, that you are exactly as God intended you to be, that you're not a mistake, right? You're not an accident, right? That does something to you. That does something to our children. When they know that when God envisioned people, he envisioned a black man or a black woman, right? Just think about how cool that is. And the other thing is, once you know that you are the original, you will stop copying the copies, right? Hear me, guys. You will stop copying the copies because you're the original, right? Think about how cool that is. I remember when I first started studying ancient Kemet and ancient Egypt and realized, you know, that the Egyptians looked like me, right? Nefertiti looked like me. She had skin that looked like me. I mean, when I realized that God actually created first people to look like a black woman or a black man, I cried. I just cried because I mean, it was mystifying to me because, you know, having been a black girl, you know, and I'm a dark woman, you know, having been a black girl my entire life, you know, many years when I was younger being made of because of my skin color and carrying that with me. And not, you know, I love my skin. I wouldn't be any other color on the planet. But when I was growing up and when I didn't know any better and when black, you know, came across or when it was conceived or perceived as a negative thing, you know, I thought there was a negative part of me. So when I became an adult and God started to divinely direct me and show me things, and I realized that I'm a copy of the original. When God thought about a woman, his first woman, she looked like me. I cried. I mean, I cried. And I just cried from I don't even know. I just cried. It just melted away a lot of the insecurities and the fears and all I ever thought about black people. So I say all that to say that this is important. It's important for you to know that you're not an accident and that black people aren't secondary. Black people were first. And it means something. And we have to begin to internalize that for ourselves and teach that to our kids and let them know. You are not an accident. You are original of the original. You are a copy of the original. That's the only thing that you're a copy of. You're not a copy of no other people. And that's a cool thing. And that's a good thing. That's a thing that all black people need to know. So, so I go back to my original point, which is that the biggest secret for black people currently is that we do not know who we are. And we are original of the original. God made us exactly as we are, and he made us first. So when he envisioned what's beautiful, what's truthful, what has wisdom, he created Black people. And that's cool as shit, okay? So thank you guys so much for coming back to watch another one of my videos. I always like to end by saying Ashe. Yeah, so I'll see you guys next time, okay? Bye.